Let's see. There we go. It's coming. We're pushing out. We are pushing out there. There we go. Live, and I hope it's working. If we can hear you good, let me know. Let me try this here. There we go. I'm going to share this out. Do this for me. Share it out to your friends tonight. Let them know we are on the air. We're going to talk about Tom Petty. We're going to talk about the Vegas tragedy. We're just going to throw the elephant in the room. There's an elephant in the room. We're going to talk about it. There we go. Perfect, perfect. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome Courtney. Welcome Amber. Where's Kyle? I'm missing my buddy Kyle. Where is Kyle? We're trying out the new studio. We're not fine-tuned yet. There's a few things we need to do. You probably get a little bit of an echo. I like it. We'll get things going in about 6 minutes. A little over 6 minutes here. All right. There we go. Perfect. New studio, new little things. I got nuances I have to work out, and so this is, you get to be in the seat of the very beginning. You get to be here in the very beginning. We're working on the lights a little bit. We're working on all this good stuff. Hopefully I'm not too loud. If I'm too loud, let me know in the comments. And quality and all that good stuff, because I can't wear headphones and do the sound, but I'm doing the sound, but not doing the sound. You got what I'm saying? Are you catching what I'm throwing down? All right. And there might be a little bit off or lag time. We're going to work all that out as hi, Christopher. How you doing? How you doing? But tonight we're going to talk about Tom Petty. What a shocker that was. We're going to talk about that in about 5 minutes. Tom Petty and the Vegas tragedy, and maybe how we can make it through this time. Salud. Salud. It's water. Excuse-moi there. Didn't mean to cough in there. All right. Well, good. Christopher, you are a world traveler. Always watch all the things that you're doing and where you're going and all that good stuff. I like that. I'm usually just sitting at home. Sitting at home trying to figure out how to get on Facebook. I got my little monitor over there, by the way. That way. That's why I'm looking that way every so often. That's got my Facebook feed up so I can read any comments along the way. If you have comments or anything you want to throw me, let me know. Let me know what your favorite Tom Petty song was. Can still be is. He just is more towards it was. Sorry. Yeah, Tom Petty. Pretty tragic. Wasn't figuring that. We'll get into that in a little under 4 minutes, but we're going to talk about that and Vegas tragedy. How was your week? I'm just getting over my aching back. I don't know what hit me about a couple of weeks ago, and I've been like getting this little in the lower back, and every so often like get up in the morning and it just, you hit the feet hit the floor, and it's like this big jolt that just goes from my left ankle all the way up to my hip area, my sacrum area. Not good, not good. But today, first day, everything's good. Been taking ibuprofen, been doing all that good stuff and trying to keep up on it, but that's how my week's been going. Boy, you try to do something, it just gets annoying, doesn't it? When you get those back, hopefully nobody suffers from those little back twinges and pains and all that stuff, but boy, oh boy, when it hits you. And it's just, you know what it's from? I'll be honest with you. It's from being out of shape. Because 3 years ago when I was running more than ever and hitting the half marathons and all that good stuff. Never had an ache and pain like that. So back at it. Did a little bit of it this summer, but back at it and getting back into shape for winter. Well, I'll start now, so I'm back in shape by next summer. How's that? But hit me in the comments section. What's your favorite Tom Petty song? I'm going to tell you at the top of the show, or at the bottom of the hour, I should say, at the beginning of the show. I'm going to tell you my first and favorite one, because the first is always your favorite, right? That's where you're always at. Boy, I got to adjust some lighting on there too. I got raccoon eyes because I got too much light coming down, and we'll figure it out. We'll get there. We'll get there. Love the comment, Christopher. Says, I'm in shape. Just happens to be a circle. There you go. There you go. Oh, yeah, I'm not far behind you there. So we'll get going in almost a minute. A little over a minute now, but wanted to test drive this, see how the sound is. If the sound is good, give me a thumbs up or give me a heart. If the sound is looking good, or sounding good. If it needs to be, otherwise in the comment section say, hey, it needs to be louder, it needs to be less loud. Could you shut the mic off, you obnoxious Dave, you? Whatever it is, you can hit me with those. Hey, Kyle. Finally showed up, huh? About time. Oh, that's a good one, Amber. You don't know how it feels. Yeah, love that one. Hi, Kyle. Favorite Tom Petty song? I think, Kyle, you posted Traveling Wilburys. I'm not used to these surroundings yet. Here we go. Welcome to the show tonight, everybody. We're going to talk about Tom Petty. That was a heartbreaker, right? Tom Petty and the Vegas tragedy, and maybe how we can get through that with all the other people out there. Right after the intro. So Tom Petty finally passed, and I don't mean that as anything bad, but it was an up and down day yesterday. First reports of Tom Petty and my cousin Mike. I saw his feed right away yesterday, and he said, rest in peace, Tom Petty. I was like, what? The shock of that. 66 years old, and it was quite a shocker. When anybody passes on that's within our genre or within our age group that we grew up with, teenagers into there. His big hits were like in 78, 79, I do believe, and or the first hits, I should say, and that was really in my stronghold, or going into the 80s, and then that was really my growing up period, it just resonated with me. My biggest one, hi Julie. My first intro to Tom Petty was Breakdown, off the first album, with him and the Heartbreakers, and it was one that Tom Petty was a songwriter that yet it was simple It was about the lyrics. It was and the melody, and it could have been by anybody, but it was with Tom Petty. It was one of what resonated with me was that Tom Petty had a unique voice. Would have been a voice if I was a producer, if I was a record company, I'd be like, okay, how about you write the songs and we'll have somebody else sing them, because it was just one of those voices. It was very much like his mentor and friend, best friend, Bob Dylan. Same thing. Great songwriter. It was melody. It was lyrics. The backing chording and things of that sort was not intricate. Wasn't a very. It was just very. I don't want to belittle it by saying simple, but that's the way I want to put it. Is that it was very simple. Breakdown was one of those songs. You just heard it and you hit the chorus, and that was where it broke loose, and anybody could sing it. Everybody could sing, a Tom Petty song, and it just as you listen to live performances, it just resonated with people. I mean, it was all about the lyrics, it was about the melody, and everybody could sing along, and it was just great music. He was a very good songwriter, and couple of little factoids. I mean, people were today on Facebook and that were saying their different favorite songs. Running Down a Dream, Refugee, Free Fallin'. That got played a lot today. American Girl, You Got Lucky. Couple little factoids. I don't know if you knew, but if it wouldn't be for Tom Petty, we wouldn't have our P90X buddy, Tony Horton, probably. Tom Petty was his first celebrity person that he trained. Trainee, I don't know how you put that, but celebrity trainee, and so that what put him into the realm or the circle of celebrities, and then once you get the first celebrity, you can move on that way. So Tony Horton wouldn't even be with us. So there's a lot of different things that come into play, and you never really know it. Another little factoid was Tom Petty grew up in Gainesville, Florida, and there also used to be a person that was in Gainesville called Don Felder. And Don Felder of the Eagles, or formerly of the Eagles, I should say. Don Felder actually worked in a music store, and Tom Petty came in there and took guitar lessons from Don Felder. So Don Felder started giving him some lessons as far as chording and different ways to do that, and that there's a little tie-in there with it. And it's amazing how throughout our lives, you may not know it now, but every person you meet, everything you do, every part of your journey intertwines with someone else's. And it's amazing to me how if you look through the history of like Tom Petty, you have Tom Petty who became friends because of the hits and the style that he became friends with Bob Dylan. And then you have Jeff Lynne that's involved in there. Jeff Lynne brought him to George Harrison. That's how the founding base of, or the founding fathers of the Traveling Wilburys came about. And it's amazing that way that if it wouldn't have been for certain successions, one wouldn't have introduced to another, to another, to another. And we may have missed out on great songs, but they inspired each other along the way too. And production-wise, if you look at Jacob Dylan, Tom Petty produced a lot of their songs. And so along the way, it was just intertwined with that. So imagine that in your own life. It could be, and it's always going to be a hindsight, reflective thing, that if you reflect back, if you went to met a certain person, something else may not have happened, and you don't really know what it is until, hindsight, and you may not even realize it. Us in the simple world where we're not chronological and people aren't tracking our every move and who we know and all that good stuff, we may not even realize it, that we met a person years ago and that person now is with another person that now we're intertwined. Facebook is a great way of tracking all that good stuff because we have Facebook friends that now evolve, and LinkedIn, same thing, but on a business level. But Facebook is the same way. It's like all of a sudden you realize that you had a friend with another person, and it's like it just all intertwines. So back to my favorite song with Tom Petty, while you're pondering all of that. My favorite song is Breakdown. And the reason why, it was like one of the first songs I learned how to play on guitar. And it was also one of the first songs that I got to play and sing because it was not difficult. Let's just put it that way. It wasn't difficult to do, where otherwise some things are very intricate and, with certain bands and that. But love Tom Petty. Our hearts are breaking. Don't mean to be punny there, but our hearts are breaking today and yesterday, as we heard. We rushed to judgment on the news. I was on there too. I saw that he was in the hospital, and I posted that, and I heard like I said before, my cousin Mike posted "Rest in peace, Tom Petty," and so excuse me, I rushed to judgment too. And I put on there rest in peace, Tom Petty. But he was on life support. They took him off life support. He suffered a massive heart attack. And it gets reflective, as I said in the beginning, it gets reflective when people of our era now start to pass away. We start to get a little reflective of, is our time coming soon? And you see that, you have that feeling of it. And there's different, aspects that come out of that. But I'm going to just say, live your life to the best that you can. If you have kids, hug them every day, and love life as it goes along. And now you're going to see a rush for people to go out and hit concerts and things of some of these, the John Mellencamp's and all that are out there, because all of a sudden you see this, rush to, last year we saw with Prince and things of that sort that we were heartbroken on that. And you're going to see a rush to different concerts and going and seeing them so you can see them in person. I never saw Tom Petty in live in concert, and that we had the opportunity. Probably could have went last year at Summerfest here in Wisconsin, and but we didn't take that. We didn't take that opportunity to do it. And you never know. You just never know when something this tragic is going to happen. Julie says she loves Tom Petty. I think we all did then and now, and he was not he had his bad times, but I think we all have. Maybe not to the degree of heroin use as he did back in the 90s, but a lot of people have demons, and when you have demons and money, and some not even with money, you fight those demons in your own way. But yeah, tragic. We're going to get through this though, and go out there and you never know, but enjoy life as you go. I'll stop talking on that. Let's get into the next part. This is tricky. It's a new set. I was so close to doing it right. I practiced that. the Vegas tragedy, I wanted to hit upon that. Vegas tragedy was another big shocker this week when that happened. And honestly, there's nothing anyone could have foreseen or done from all the things that are coming out of that now. There's not anything that anyone could have done. And that is a tragedy in itself. Other than you're going to see different things happen now because of it. 9/11 happened. We upgraded all the airports. Now it took a while to wrangle through all the X-raying and standing there with your arms up and different things, and the shoes, taking your shoes off and that. And there's things that happen, but that was playing catch up because Europe. Wow, I can't even speak tonight. But Europe had those things in place before. So now you're going to see different technologies, different things happen because of this. So when you go to a hotel, and if a hotel asks you why you have 10 bags, you had 10 bags. They're going to analyze what it was all about. And maybe that you pass bags through an X-ray machine at a hotel, major hotel or something. It could be something of that sort. But don't be dismayed and don't worry about your freedoms, because out of doing these things, you're going to get more freedom. You're going to get freedom of movement. You're going to get freedom to go to a concert and not have to worry about things like that happening. You're going to be concerned. Everyone's going to be concerned if you're in an open air concert of that sort, surrounded by vantage points. And it could have happened anywhere. And as discussions happen, make sure you turn it around, because I already had some discussions on Facebook, and I've had discussions with different friends already that are trying to make it into a gun issue or back and forth and things, just out of it. But I'm going to tell you, turn those statements around and make it into about the victims. Make the victims the focal point, because I think that is the most important aspect to all of this, is making the victims the focal point, because they really need, there's 512 or over 500 that are victims too. There's 59 so far, that as of right now, 59 that were killed and brought to their passing by someone other than their own means. And you have over 500 people that are hurt, injured, hospitalized, and that's a tragedy in itself. I would be wise on, if you're going to donate towards them, be wise on where you donate and where your money goes. We don't want to just put money on a GoFundMe page and not know where those funds are going to go. We don't, because anytime you have a tragedy of this sort, you're going to have people also that are going to try to take advantage of the feelings and that erupt within inside of us during those times. So make sure that if you donate, you know where that money is going to go. But turn it around. Every discussion that you come across, turn it around to about the victims. And everyone, if you get my daily email, today's email was about mourning. And everybody mourns in their own way. And some are going to start out with anger. You're going to hit a lot of those. I shouldn't say a lot. You're going to get a good percentage of those people that are going to take that anger and they're going to try to pound it home with about making it about, you can't take our guns away, Second Amendment rights, things of that sort. And I'm here to say, throw that whole thing out. If that's the argument, or that's the way they want to go, just note in your mind that's the way they're going to start their mourning process. And that's with a U, MOURNING. mourning, and turn it around about the victims. Make it a subject about the victims. If, I don't want to say put a face on the victims, but you want to make sure that your focus is on them and their families and helping their families along with this time. And I already started seeing people within my Facebook feed that are maybe not directly have a friend, but indirectly, like 2 friends away from someone that got either killed or injured there, because it's such a large number. So it doesn't take many people. There's not like 6 degrees of separation between a lot of people. A lot of times there's only 1, 2, or 3 degrees in this great world that we live in. And so let those people mourn in their own way. If they're angry and they want to turn it into this other subject, just bring them back to the victims. Just say it to them. Just say, oh boy, I really feel for their families. And I feel for that the victims themselves were there helpless. And I can't imagine what they went through. Amber and I had this discussion as soon as we heard about it. It was like, we can't imagine what it would have been through, because you're at a concert venue and you're thinking, you're hearing, and the footage and the recordings are just frightening. But if I was there and I initially heard that, I would think I'd start looking up for fireworks. I'd start looking for pyrotechnics. I'd be looking for something with that, or maybe is there a problem with the speakers? And the people that were there, ironically, that survived, said the same thing. They were like, that's what their first instinct was, is that there was some effect that was going on, or something was going wrong with the with the sound system and things of that sort. And it was it's just tragic. If you walk in their shoes and just think about being there at a concert, because we've all been to concerts, and just think of how that lag time would have been there, and that lag time is what really gave him the advantage. And so if you're talking to people, just put them into the victim's shoes. Start having that discussion with them. Don't let them mourn in their own way. We're all going to do it. I felt very sad. I mean, the mood on Monday, excuse me, the mood on Monday on Facebook and around anyone that I was around was very sedate, very glum. Between that and there was the talk of Tom Petty, and then it went back and forth about Tom Petty and that. And but the tragedy in Vegas, don't get into don't fuel their fire, is how I want to say that. Just don't fuel the fire of the people that are out there that are trying to not make this about the victims. Put a face on those victims. Try to get them to walk in their shoes. And in the big picture, that's where we're going to come to some way of resolving this, or coming to it, because I'll just make a stand right here and now. Whether you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments. There's got to be something that happens with guns and gun control in the United States, and it will eventually, because the rest, shouldn't say the rest, Europe is far ahead of us with this, because they're like teenagers, and we're like they're like adults, and America is like teenagers as far as the amount of years that we've had a government and the people here. So excuse me. But turn their argument around. Don't fuel their fire, and make it about the victims and the survivors that are there. And eventually that discussion alone is going to make a change. So now I gotta try this again. Oh, that was smoother. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. New studio. Don, thanks for joining. I wish you were here. You could play jam on the guitar, and I would certainly sing. We could sing some Tom Petty songs. Appreciate you being here. Maybe we can do that sometime via Zoom or something on the show. I would love that. We'll work something out. And speaking of love, that's my final segment. This week is really universally, when these tragedies happen, bring it back to love. The love of your family, the love of for other rock stars that are out there. Instead of Tom Petty, go see John Mellencamp. Hit the ones that you like, and go out and see them. Let them rock you out, and you won't have the I should have, I could have, those oofs. Get those oofs out of your life, and go and see those. But love is really what it's all about. And when we turn that conversation back to it, you're going to get some people that are going to press back against that because, well, some of them are uncomfortable with it, right? And speaking of uncomfortable, I'm going to talk to you about hugs. How's that for a segue, huh? As you can see in the picture there, hugs. There's a sign and 12 hugs for growth. If you do 12 hugs a day, and a question always comes up when I'm doing any coaching and that, and I throw this out there, 12 hugs a day, they're always saying, well, can it be the same person? Can it be that? It's just 12 hugs. It doesn't matter if it comes from the same person. It doesn't matter if it's 12 different people. It doesn't matter if it's, and if you go more than 12, well, booyah, as they say, booyah. But, or I should say, as Gabe says. And there's a right and wrong to hugs. I probably lost a whole bunch of you when he's talking about hugs. I'm going to click off now. Especially the guys. The guys tune out at this point. But there's a right and a wrong way for giving a hug. Left ear to left ear actually energizes your biosystem. Don knows this. Don is the bio guy. Left ear to left ear strengthens and energizes you. Right ear to right ear, it's just neutral. It neutralizes you. So it doesn't necessarily make you go limp or fall down. But left ear to left ear, try it. Try it sometime. Left ear to left ear, and you do a muscle test. Let's look up muscle. Don knows about muscle testing. But do muscle testing if you want to. And we can cover that sometime. But left ear to left ear is going to raise your energy. It raises your vibration. And you'd be amazed if you're a hugger, if you're a constant hugger, then change that up. If you do right ear to right ear, or you vary it, just keep doing left ear to left ear. People that are right-handed have a tendency to go right ear. I'll stop talking about hugging. I know. I made Christopher feel uncomfortable. He probably already left. But take it around to love. Relish your family. Relish your kids if you have kids. Relish your stepkids if you have stepkids. Just relish your family, the people you love, the friends you have, and let them know that you love them. And either in action or in words. If you feel uncomfortable with words, do it in action. And action can be as simple as giving a hug, or it can be just showing up and spending time with them. It could be various things. But give them your attention, and you'll see great things come out of it. And it can only help as a deterrent for cultivating other people that may at some point be a little unstable and might do something of that sort. Maybe if we catch them at the beginning of their lives and give them 12 hugs a day, maybe that will actually prevent something farther down the road. You might be shaking your head right now going, oh my gosh, what is this kumbaya stuff? But it could happen. It could very well happen. We're going to learn more about the shooter as it unravels. We already know a few things about it, that his family life was not probably the best. And sad to say, it comes with a Wisconsin tie in, because his dad was from the Sheboygan area, I guess, and was a bank robber back in the 60s and FBI's 10 most wanted list and all that good stuff. So, yay. We have another great connection to Wisconsin. It kind of gets me a little scared sometimes. Hi, Cindy. Thanks for joining. And so as we come to a close in the show, let yourself mourn. Let everybody else mourn in their way. Trying to recap everything here. I'm very saddened by Tom Petty, but there's other great rockers that are out there that are going to keep going, and go see them. Check them out. Or just go on their social feeds, their Facebook, their Instagram, and let them know that you really, give them a thumbs up and say, hey, thanks for helping me through a hard time, or thanks for helping me through a divorce, or help me through, or thanks for the happy times, whatever it is. Let them know so that you don't feel any guilt. Other people worked out by then, hopefully. See ya. Bye. If you liked this video, like my Facebook page or subscribe to my YouTube channel, or find everything at davestelma.com.